Keep up with us online by liking the ZTV Sports Report on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter at ZTV Sports, and check out our YouTube page, ZTV Sports, to see our latest videos.
The ZTV Sports Report is a production of ZTV and the School of Communication at the University of Akron.
If you want to learn how to make award-winning TV programs, contact the School of Communication at 330-972-7600.
If you have questions about ZTV programs, email us or visit us online.
Welcome back to another edition of the Coach's Corner. I'm Chris Coon, and joining me today is head coach of the University of Akron track and field team, Dennis Mitchell. Thanks for stopping by, Coach.
It's a privilege being here.
Well, we'll just start right into it. Coach, you've been at the University of Akron for 18 seasons now. How much not only has the university morphed, but the program as well?
Well, the program's definitely changed quite a bit. You know, when the first time I came here, we were bottom of the conference, bottom of Ohio. We had probably the worst facilities. Definitely had the lowest budget and never had an All-American. And we were at the, we never had even an individual conference champion. And so we've come a long way from where we were back then.
And you mentioned the facilities. How big of a help has it been when it comes not only to recruiting, but showcasing the University of Akron and your program?
Well, it helps a lot. You know, that's been a big part of, developing the depth in our program. You know, we can convince some kids to come for, with lesser type facilities, but to get a good full team, those facilities really attract a lot of the depth that we need for our team.
And Coach, you've had 98 academic All-American honorees in your tenure here at Akron. What does that mean for you and for the program?
Well, academics is first, and that's what we always preach, but we also preach that you can be the greatest athlete you want to be and the greatest student you want to be at the same time. And we also tell them, if you really work hard in your academics, that discipline will spill over into athletics as well.
And you have quite a few athletes that are nationally ranked right now. How challenging is it sometimes to keep them focused at the task at hand?
Well, I mean, that's the whole key. You got to make sure they're ready for the long haul. The most important thing when you have a national athlete is make sure they're not only ready for your conference championships, but to make sure at the end of the season they're really ready to perform their best at the NCAA championships as well.
And Brittany Cheese a few weeks ago became just the second athlete in Akron history to surpass the 20-foot barrier in the women's long jump. Just your thoughts on her performance?
Well, that was great because we felt like Brittany had been making the move. And, we're going to rely on a lot this year because she does so much for us, both with the pentathlon, the heptathlon, the long jump, the hurdle. She does it all. So that was a great breakthrough. And we feel like she can even do better.
And Sean Barber has seemed to make a real smooth transition from high school to college. What's been your overall take on Sean as well?
Well, that's it. He's made a great transition. He comes in with a lot of accolades and a lot of expectations, and so far he's met those expectations. And he's a great kid, and we expect a lot of great things from him in the future.
And just, I don't know if you could just give some insight when it comes to student athletes coming from the high school game to the college game. How tough of a transition sometimes is it for some of those student athletes to go through?
Well, it takes them a while to get used to, especially the strenuous training we go through. They'll always go through what I call the freshman beat-ups. They're not quite used to that intensity, and so they at first they struggle until they finally get their bodies kind of up to the tasks that we have set forth for them.
And when it comes to the dual sport athletes like Bryce Cheek and Malachi Freeman, how challenging is that for them sometimes to, they have to worry about football in the spring or in the fall, and then they have to worry about track and field in the spring. How do you keep them focused, I guess, with your sport and with their academics as well?
Well, I feel like those two sports complement each other. So as we make them faster and get them where they're hitting some great times, that's only going to help them on the football field. But sometimes it's just that mental focus is making sure you're dedicated to two teams, not just one. And here we are, we're going for a conference championship, and at the same time they're trying to do the same and do some great things. And so they got to keep that. It's more about that focus. But we feel like we're complimenting and making him a better athlete for the football program as well.
Now, Coach, when it comes to senior Tyshawn Peoples, he's had a tremendous career here at the University of Akron. However, how has he been to the program? And how has he grown through the years throughout his career here?
Well, he's grown a lot. He's a great kid, great student. He's in graduate school right now, and he suffered quite a bit of adversity with his injuries, but he just keeps coming back. And right now, he seems like he's on top of his game, the best I've ever seen him.
And this past Friday, the Zips Invitational took place. Just how good of a tune-up was it before the Indoor MAC Championship takes place?
that was a perfect meet for us because it was very low key. You know, it was one of those situations where, you know, there wasn't a lot at stake. And so we can kind of pick and choose what we need to do. And you know, it was one of those personal record nights, and a lot of athletes came through, and I think they gained a lot of confidence going into the championships next week. Well, this week, actually.
Okay, Coach, and thanks for stopping by. That will wrap up another edition of the Coach's Corner. I'm Chris Coon, and I'll see you next time.
If you are on the campus of the University of Akron, you can watch us live and in HD on channel 45.1. Watch ZTV Lowdown every day at 2 and 7:30. Catch Lights Camera Akron at 2:30 and 8. The ZTV Sports Report at 3 and 8:30. Akron After Hours at 3:30 and 9. And ZTV Goofing Off at 4 and 9:30. Watch online anytime. And off campus, you can see us on Time Warner On Demand, channel 501.
Well, Bridget, I'm sad to say that our show is coming to an end very shortly. We make such a great team. I hate to see the show come to an end.
Well, we're not done just yet. And you know what I always say? Teamwork makes the dream work. This is something that most sports teams follow in order to reach their goals. Sarta shows us the value of working together as a team on this week's edition of The Lighter Side of Sports.
With the popularity of sports rising, players and athletes will try anything to stand out. This can be anything from their appearance, their actions on the field, or the people they associate with. These actions can make an athlete seem selfish and have no regard for the sake of their team. What is often forgotten is that these type of players are often not allowed on a team. Organizations from professional to amateur often look for one key trait. This trait is teamwork.
So what is teamwork? Teamwork in reference to sport is each athlete having a role within the team to accomplish their goals. Whether it is being better than the year before, setting a record, or beating your biggest rival, the team needs to have a bond in order to be successful. Being a team player allows a team to develop a close relationship with one another in order to solve problems and accomplish goals quicker than they would alone. And when teams develop closeness, it can reduce the level of conflict within the team. Even if one player fails to live up to his responsibilities to the team's success would surely plummet. This can be anything from arguing with the coaches to just being lazy. Regardless, the success of the team depends on every player.
Teamwork is when one player puts aside himself and works with others for the benefit of the whole team. This can be from anything from a player assisting another player to the common motivation to push forward. Good relationships with one's teammates will ensure the success of one's team. Teamwork can only work if players are willing to work with one another and set aside their egos. It can separate normal teams from great teams. Teamwork is just as important as skill to a passion for a game. For the ZTV Sports Report, I'm Sartaj Ojala.
There's definitely no I in team. Thanks for always being my partner in crime, Parker.
I wouldn't have it any other way, Bridget. Make sure you watch us next time as we will have the results of the MAC tournament and much more with Akron Athletics.
There are so many exciting events to look forward to. I can't wait. Unfortunately for tonight, all good things must come to an end. From everyone here in the ZTV Sports Report family, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
This program was produced by ZTV at the University of Akron. To find out how you can make Emmy-winning media, visit the UA School of Communication online. ZTV. Make media. Make a difference.